Hey you. Subscribe. Happy holidays from Radio Free Cybertron.
Merry Christmas to all, and to all a good night. Ho, ho, ho.
You're watching Radio Free Cybertron with your hosts, Brian Kilby, J.D. Church, Rob Springer, featuring XV and Rob Clay, celebrating the birth of Prime.
Happy holidays! This is Radio Free Cybertron 342, our Christmas special, and what other associated solstice celebrations that you might have going on. If you're a druid or something, happy All Turkeys Day.
That was Thanksgiving.
Is that Thanksgiving? Happy...
Probably a druid would be like All Life Day or something.
Yeah. All
Saturnalia.
Yeah. Saturnalia, that works. So happy holiday. Yeah, so this is we haven't really done like a Christmassy episode in a while, and this one's only Christmassy in name. We do have one Christmas related segment, but I do want to note the holidays because Transformers and Christmas like go together like chocolate and peanut butter.
Yes.
Especially, for us older folk who remember getting Transformers when they were younger. Getting stuff like that under the tree is just fun. If you have kids now, giving them Transformers for Christmas or Hanukkah or whatever you celebrate, it's also fun. So, Transformers and Christmas, that's a winning combination. With me on the show this week, we have Diecast.
Hello.
Don.
Hey, guys.
And Melvar. Melvar is back.
Hey.
So, guys, on the show this week, apparently we do have comic news. That's what I'm told. We have Q&A with Rob Springer. I'm pretty sure this is a special Christmas edition because I asked him to do one for Christmas, and a little Christmas segment that we'll have on later in the show as well. I'm trying to think here. I wanted to mention something. Oh yeah, so if you watch the show live, and you should watch it live because it's awesome. We have a great chat room going. We love those guys. We record live at tfradio.net/live on Wednesdays at around... We start streaming sometime between 7:45 and 8 p.m. Eastern Time. The show actually starts around 8:30, but we have pre-show and post-show, and the post-show Google Plus Hangout. It's awesome. But we are taking a couple weeks off for the holidays. So we're not going to have a live stream on Christmas Day or New Year's Day, but we will have a show. We're going to have some original content, a couple of best-of, a couple of retrospectives, and some things I've been wanting to get to that doesn't really fit in with the normal show. So we're going to have two special shows back-to-back, episodes 343 and 344. But we'll be back on with 345 on, looks like, I don't know.
The 8th?
January 8th, yes. So we will have a show. Keep checking back. Download the show. Download it 4 or 5 times. Subscribe on iTunes, subscribe on Stitcher, leave us feedback on iTunes and Stitcher. That would be so awesome. That would be the best Christmas gift ever. I would love you. I would love you long time. If you could do that, that would be great. But yeah, so no live show in the next 2 weeks, but we will be back fresh as a daisy on January 8th.
So basically like Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. then.
I haven't watched a single episode of that. Is it worth it?
It's getting better.
Yeah, but they're also not having new episodes until after first of the year.
Well, I don't think you would want to run a new episode on Christmas Day or New Year's Day.
Oh yeah, I agree.
Yeah. Well, Don, if you want to go, I'm fine. I'm free on both days. So.
Oh no! I'm just saying. It's just this time of year, everyone does it. Just
yeah, not saying. So we will have some content. We will have new content. I've actually got a couple ideas if you have some free time, but if people have other things going on, I got it covered. Let's go ahead and jump into This Week in History, which we don't have this week. How do you like that?
Happened.
2 weeks in a row. Stuff happened, but nothing like, oh, Ernie Hudson was born this week. Happy birthday, Ernie Hudson. Which actually did happen this week, but not really something that I really wanted to bring up. I love Ernie Hudson, though. He's in my favorite movie ever, Anaconda. No, Ghostbusters. I love Ghostbusters.
I was going to say, it better be Ghostbusters.
Yeah. I loves me some Ghostbusters. Okay, let's jump to the news. So we have official images of the 2014 Wave 3. Gosh, what's in Wave 2? Oh, Wave 2. Okay, 2014 Wave 1 is the Waspinator Wave, even though it's coming out now. But we have official images of Wave 3, which is Rat Trap, Tankor, and Crosscut. And we didn't see Crosscut last week, or Tankor. So we did see Waspinator. Crosscut looks great.
And
Aside
you were
from the
right.
gigantic feet.
Yeah, except for the gigantic feet. Yeah, and I was right. I mean, I'm honestly surprised by that because I didn't have my heart in that prediction. But what else were they going to do? I want to love skids. I really do, but it's nice, but
Crosscut looks better.
Crosscut looks better.
I think with skids, I think Diecast may have said this when we looked at the pictures originally. They had used a blue a bit closer to his original colors. Just on that mold, it would have looked a little bit better.
Yeah.
We'll get the Takara version.
And I have no experience with Tankor because I never watched Beast Machines, but this looks like the most generic robot I've ever seen. He's basically just a tank with 2 claws for hands, a very generic robot face, and a shoulder cannon.
So we got Tankor, who was a mega. He was mega scale, right? That's when we still had mega in the past. Then we had the tank drone. So counting tank drone as Tankor, which I'm going to because it's my prerogative, I'm going to say this is the 3rd best Tankor we've ever gotten.
Well, Paladin mentioned that this looks almost like an upscale tank drone, and
It does. But not as good. So my problem with this is it almost looks like a GoBots Tankor. It's just I don't know. I really like Tankor. I don't think we actually got a really great figure. I would say I like Tank Drone better than the Mega Class figure, but this just I don't hate it, but it's just a little bit off. It looks more like to me a Legion class figure than it does than a deluxe class figure. I want to
talk
love
about
it.
visible head syndrome, man. His head is right in the center of the tank, sticking up.
Well, that's
actually so accurate.
Yeah, he's supposed to be like that.
Okay.
It's just
The Viacon drones had that. They had that going on.
It's just, I guess because Beast Machines carry so much of a negative connotation with me, I'm having trouble looking past it for this figure for whatever good stuff it might have. I just can't get past it being, ooh, Tankor.
So what I would much rather have than Tankor is Thrust. I love Thrust. He is still one of the best Transformers, maybe not toys ever, but characters ever. Thrust was awesome, and I demand a new Thrust figure. I demand it 2 waves from now. So when Toy Fair comes, we better find out that we're getting a Thrust. Make it so, Hasbro. Make it so. I want Thrust. There you go. And also we're getting Rat Trap, and I heart Rat Trap. I really heart Rat Trap.
He can't stand on his back legs, but even if he could, all the robot kibble is underneath there. So,
and I'm fine with that.
And JD was right last week. That arm is hinged.
Yeah.
And it opens up, and it's not a sticker. It's not molded stuff. There's an actual little tiny set of binoculars in there that come out of his arm, and that is awesome.
Here it is. It is amazing.
Oh, they actually come out of the arm?
Yeah.
Yes.
Oh, that's cool.
Which I was not expecting at all.
Hasbro is really knocking it out of the park, really, in general, with this stuff. Like, next wave is Scoop. I don't know if I mentioned it before, but I really want Scoop. I want Scoop so bad.
Who would have ever thought that Scoop would get a new figure?
I know, it's crazy.
Yeah, I'm hoping they'll eventually get, like, since we got Scoop in this wave, I'm hoping we'll soon get, like, a Spinster or a Needle
Nose would be great.
I love Quake, yeah.
Oh, Quake. Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
I want new first wave Target Masters. I want a new Point Blank.
Yes. Well, heck, they could redo. Well,
we got a Cyclonus and a Hot Rod.
Yeah.
Yes, but I don't have Point Blank
Well,
or Sure Shot.
Actually, Hot Rod though didn't come with Firebolt. I had to get that third party.
Yeah. What was that? Was that Bolt Fire or something?
Well, there's two. It was Fans Project, and then the super awesome. I can't think. Insane Galvatron. What's the name of Master Shooter?
Yeah.
Insane Galvatron has contacts at Master Shooter. He's in the chat right now, so it took me a second to think. The Master Shooter one is the best one, far and away. I really do like it.
Bless you.
But yeah, so honestly now I can incorporate that into the deluxe Hot Rod toy, that Master Shooter Bolt Fire. Then Don went away, and then there were 3. Did you cut your video off, Don? So we don't see you. So we don't see you blowing your nose. I want to thank you for that.
Yes.
I think everyone wants to thank you for that.
Normally, I would say, Don, don't do that. Don't do that, Don, because it messes with my screen. Sorry. But I would rather mess with the screen than see Don blowing his nose. Okay. Insane Galvatron missed all the Master Shooter commentary. So let's see here what else we have going on this week. Lots of photos of figures out of the package. Let's just go ahead and run through them. Next wave, we are getting Skywarp, Fall of Cybertron Skywarp, a Hasbro version. We've already gotten a Takara version. It looks nice. Can't wait to see it, but it is different than the Takara version. So
that fuchsia around the cockpit is still getting me. It's the wrong shade of purple. It totally draws your eyes to it. It's just not good. And I really want to like that figure, but I just can't get past that color variation.
Well, I don't... Looking at the group shot diecast, it's really... Together as a group, it doesn't really pull you any more or less than the others. Maybe it's just... See, I like the Galvatron, the Cyclonus they did with the more lavender colors from Japan. I like that one, so maybe the color doesn't really have that effect on it being an issue.
Let's see here. Up next, we have the Minicon Assault team. Here's this team combined. They look nice. I'm excited that we're getting Minicons. Actually called Minicons. All is right in the world. But they are not what I'm looking forward to most in this wave, I gotta admit. Because, of course, that's going to be Scoop. God, I can't imagine how awesome it is. Whoever came up with the idea of doing a new Scoop deserves a high five. They deserve like a whole month's worth of high fives. Look at it. It's awesome.
Well, I was looking at the pictures, Brian. I'm kind of glad they gave the Target Masters a little more articulation.
Yeah.
Because now they just don't have hands just sticking out of nowhere.
Oh yeah, it's fantastic. The fact that they went with a double Target Master, so awesome. So yeah, Quake would be great. Needle Nose, Spinister, any of those. Yeah, that would be phenomenal. Maybe Landfill. It was Landfill, wasn't it? He was the other.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah, that's awesome.
I always liked the Autobot, see those get update. So that turned out really nice.
I think it's a good looking figure. I think anyone who, even if they don't have an affiliation with the character, is going to pick that up on the shelf and be like, I want this one.
It looks great. Even if you don't know who he is, it's still awesome. Now my question is, because we are, 2013, so 11, 12 years after Armada. Our kids who bought Armada, back then, is there a lot of Armada nostalgia? I would have to think so. Because I think this Armada Starscream is going to sell. It's a good-looking figure. Armada Starscream always had a striking look to him. And I just think that it's the right time to start revisiting the Unicron trilogy from a homage perspective.
Now, this is a deluxe, right?
Deluxe, yeah.
Yes.
And it looks fine as a deluxe. Just at least in robot mode, specifically. In jet mode, I would like to maybe have a Voyager-sized figure, but I do think the robot mode works as a deluxe.
Yeah, because he doesn't have the big electronics and jet thing hanging off the back of his shoulder.
Like,
I just have to say, of all the figures in this wave, this does absolutely nothing for me.
Really?
I have no love of Armada overall. I wish I'd never bought 90% of the toys, and I just can't get why everybody loves the Starscream. It's just. I'd rather get the Minicon set than this, and I'm sick of Minicons.
You're what? You're sick of Minicons?
Yeah, I'll be happy if we never got another Minicon as long as the line goes on. But
wow,
it's bad. It's
animated plastic saying that Starscream looks more like Sunstorm. I can see that.
I agree with that.
And then you realize this is going to be nothing but repaint fodder for wave fillers for the next.
Yes, I'll take that. I'll take it. Of course, the Fall of Cybertron Starscream mold is great, and I do like seeing the Seekers come out of that. The 3 non-cone heads, though, are probably enough. I would probably like to see something done with that Starscream mold. The new Starscream mold.
Yeah,
I'm sure you will see something done with that new Starscream mold.
So that will be your new classic Starscream reused over and over and over.
The Armada one?
For the next 7 years worth of BotCons?
Yeah. Well, for anything. Pretty much. That's going to be the go-to Seeker mold, probably.
No, timeout, Don.
I'm fine with that. Because they've already used the Seeker mold to death. They've had to retool it I don't know how many times. One. They have the Fall of Cybertron Seeker mold. It's great. It really is great. But they're going to run out of that. If Armada Starscream sells well, why not? I mean, why not?
At least a core set of Seekers.
Yeah. Yeah.
I don't know. It's just not that good of a jet to me to be that type of mold where you're going to, recolor it in every possible color you can imagine.
It'll sell.
Well, like Tankor, it could be that I've just had such a negative connotation with Armada. I can't see the figure outside that context of.
So I just got a tweet in all caps from XV. Throw Don off the show right now.
That was probably for the Minicon comment.
I think it's about Starscream.
No, I'm sorry. It's just not a figure I can get behind like y'all. I mean, if y'all like it, that's cool. To me, it's just.
XV also corrected us. What Rat Trap is carrying is his bomb, not binoculars.
Oh, okay. My bad.
I think if he was more red than orange, I think I would be more into the figure. But
I want to hold it in my hands before I make the final decision.
Yeah.
Yeah. But thank you, XV, for your commentary. Let's see here. Let's jump to third-party news. So, Don, you're going to have to explain this one. Fans Project, Mega Zero, supposedly destroyed in shipping, but thankfully they had some Korean versions laying around. Explain the joke.
Explain the joke. This is basically Fans Project pointing out that for all of Takara's work in Japan, they have a company called Sonokong in Korea that does their work for them for mainland Asia. And this basically is saying that all of the Japanese created Mega Zeros were destroyed, but they found in Korean packaging the figure in a warehouse. So basically they're just joking about how there's a Korean version made by Takara for mainland Asia. So basically your box is going to be a Korean style box with lots of big images, lots of writing, lots of posing, versus your more standard, smaller Japanese boxes. If anyone out there has collected Brave figures, they'll know exactly what I'm talking about.
So Don, what are your thoughts on the series, by the way?
I like it. It's just the whole, to me, the whole retro thing is just not quite the look I was thinking of when they first announced this. It's someone else raised a good point. It's a G1 Transformer that I have no connection to because there's no media for it. So
Don, you might be a little different as an adult. As a kid. G1 Transformers was out when I was a kid. There were things I missed. I missed, like, everything after the first wave of Pretenders. I stopped. I moved over to G.I. Joe. So, from the time that ended, 87, 88, until I got on the internet, 96, 97, there's a lot of stuff I had to learn about. I'm like, oh, that figure looks cool. Or, oh, hey, that's cool. To me, it's kind of like a lost figure like that I didn't know existed. And, you know, I appreciate that. It's almost like it fills there's something that I'm missing now, being a fan who's been on the internet now for 15, 16, 17 years. God almighty.
And that's what they're shooting for.
But there's something I'm missing, because now it's like there might be something really obscure that I didn't know about that I would care about. But seeing this, it's like, wow, that's neat. That's something I didn't know existed. It just kind of mentally, it just creates this interesting, strange sensation. It's like, wow, where did that come from?
Exactly. It's sort of like when I went on the internet in the mid-90s and learned about Japanese Transformers like Star Saber and Victory Leo and all this stuff that I didn't know existed, and that's what they're doing here. And I personally, it's not what I was looking for in their line, but it definitely is a great idea to do this, and it's proven to be very popular too. It's just that was the joke, was they changed the box for that one to the Korean style packaging.
I'm interested in it. I might actually pick those up now that I've actually sort of talked myself into it. Jumping ahead, Unique Toys Sound Mixer has been shown in prototype. And I don't know that we had a scale on this before. Did we know how big this was going to be?
No.
I think it was generally assumed it was going to be a Voyager.
Well, now we know it's about the size of Masterpiece Prowl. And I'm disappointed by that. Because I wanted something in the scale of Masterpiece Soundwave. And that's kind of the other way around, because before with the G1 toys, Soundwave was small, Blaster was ginormous. Now Soundwave is pretty flippin' huge, and Blaster is this right here. Not small, it's a great figure, and it's a great size, but I wanted Blaster to be a little bigger.
So can we hope for a Masterpiece Blaster now?
Eventually, maybe. I don't think anything is off the table. I don't think Don's blowing his nose again, which completely ruins Don's intention of hiding it. But yeah,
well, I mean, especially if they've already done a Soundwave and they've proven they can do the cassettes, and Blaster is a popular character, and they can always repaint him. So I don't see why we wouldn't get a Blaster eventually.
I don't see a reason why we wouldn't. I just don't know when.
Yeah, it's sort of like waiting on. It's sort of like MP Dinobots. I think the company that's doing the fans toys doing that, not slag, is going to be fulfilling a major need, because how many of us would actually want all Masterpiece Dinobots, but how long are we willing to wait for Tankor to do them with all this other stuff that's in the works?
Yeah, I mean, Masterpiece scale stuff, more engineering goes into these figures. I mean, even compare them to, like, Binaltech. I mean, there's quite a bit more. There's visibly more engineering in this and more detail. Not necessarily even in just like the joints and hinges, but just the design, making sure that it just looks right down to the angles, down to the the paint. Just more effort goes into it. So yeah, you're gonna have to wait a while to get any of this stuff. Right now, we're getting what, 6, 8 a year. Something like that. We've gotten 3, 4, 5, 6 this year, counting Tiger Track.
It's stepped up now that they went to this smaller scale and had these smaller masterpieces. It's definitely increased the amount we're getting per year, which is great.
But yeah, there's still going to come a point to where they can't. I mean, so
to where they're not just retooling one mold to get 3 figures.
Yeah, I mean that's exactly what we've done. They've released 2 molds this year.
Yeah. Well, we've brought this up before. It's like mold reusage helps to cut the cost down on that one mold. If you've got ones like Soundwave, you really can't do anybody but Sound Blaster and maybe a shattered glass version of that one. But if they do Wheeljack, who are you going to do Wheeljack as? Slicer?
Yes.
You might get him. Ironhide and Ratchet, you could do each other. So they're getting to the point where they're going to have to do people like, if they do Tracks, you can do Road Rage. But you can do the yellow version of Tracks as well. Yellow version of Tracks. But there's going to be some characters where your recolor options are limited.
I mean, like on these toys, there's always the Diaclone well to go down. So like, what's the Diaclone of Mirage?
Was he red and white?
Yeah. So yeah, you have that. So. Oh my God! I really want Diaclone Ultra Magnus when that comes out. I just have to say that.
Yes.
I hate myself now. Okay, yeah. I've got to get that.
Yeah, actually, it also be movie Ultra Magnus.
Yeah, the movie preview. Powered Convoy would just be so flippin' awesome. But yeah, so.
I want G2 Masterpiece Thundercracker. After we showed that picture a few weeks ago, I want that.
At least
Action Master Thundercracker.
Don't say no. G2 Ramjet, yes. Action Master Thundercracker, no.
God, Ramjet will look nice.
I gleefully bought, thanks to I think John DeLuna, the Action Master Thundercracker BotCon exclusive. Actually, that's about what I paid for that. Actually, it'd be what a Masterpiece would probably cost, at least retail. Do you think we'll get a new Seeker mold at some point? Or since they've retooled it, there's probably not much reason.
I would love to get a Seeker mold in this size. That would be awesome.
Yeah, anything's up in the air. I just want to get my Galvatron before I die.
Well, your Galvatron, my RC.
We can get them at the same time. They can get married. They can bring.
But there's a possibility of getting Galvatron on.
So we'll probably see RC at. The Thrilling 30 RC at Toy Fair, I would assume. So Don, I would say in the next month and a half, you'll probably get your wish.
So what you need to do, Don, is get me to Toy Fair, and that way I can, get all the exclusives for you.
Actually, I was talking to XV about that diecast. I'll send you an email. We need to figure that out before February. So if you can get there, we'll try to get you in.
I can get there.
Yeah,
that's no problem.
Yeah, we'll try to get you in. So we'll talk about that offline. So let's go ahead and jump to comic news. After that, we'll have Q&A with Rob Springer. And Don is blowing his nose again. And
he's getting his fingers up there real good.
And after that, we'll have our little Christmas celebration of Christmas, our Christmas segment. We'll just jump to that, like right here in a second. Don, are you okay?
Yeah, I'm fine. Just think some sinuses are trying to drain for some reason.
So Don's going to recover while we are on a break. We will be back right after this.
Warning. The following segment may contain spoilers for the most recent Transformers comic books. So, this week we have 2 comic books.
Mm-hmm.
We've got Robots in Disguise 25. 25? No, 24, isn't it?
Yeah. Yeah, Dark Cybertron Part 5.
There's too many numbers.
Yes.
And an issue of Regeneration 1, it's really not important.
It is 97, though, for the record.
It's not important.
No.
Mostly what I want to talk about with Robots in Disguise is the art.
Okay.
So in the last issue of More Than Meets the Eye, we had a couple of pages from Robert Gill, who I'm pretty sure is new to the Transformers titles with this event. And I like his work.
Yeah, he's pretty good so far.
There's some issues with like action readability.
Mm-hmm.
But on the other hand, he does really good like dynamic poses and sequences.
Yeah.
Like one thing that really stood out to me was the Dreadwing jump and transform all across the length of one panel.
Oh, yeah.
Of course, that's a little hard to read correctly since that's going from right to left and the text is going properly from left to right.
Yeah.
So that's again kind of the readability thing.
Yeah, that's the staging thing. It's shame they couldn't just flip the panel.
Yeah, that would have been easier, wouldn't it? But still, it just the way he sets up individual characters in action poses looks and works really well. It's really just a matter of doing it in complex group shots.
Yeah.
Where things start to get crowded.
Yeah, and that's never easy.
No, it's not. The one that really worked well, I thought, was the scene toward the end where Galvatron tears Megatron in half, because it is just one big shot.
Yeah.
I
might have liked to have that pulled back just a little bit so you could see more of Megatron's legs. It's pretty easy to figure out what's going on, but on the first glance, you're kind of wondering where those went. So.
Yeah, I mean, for me, there was enough there to see what had happened. Yeah. I mean, you could tell from that Megatron had been torn in half at the waist. And I don't think at that point it necessarily matters where exactly Megatron's legs went.
Well, yeah.
They went away. That about covers it.
Yeah.
And then, of course, the Dead Universe looks a lot like the Dead Universe.
Mm-hmm.
And is mostly just highlighted by Nightbeat offending Cyclonus.
Yes.
So, my takeaway from the Dead Universe at this point, which I put in my written review, I'm kind of sick of the way it looks now. There needs to be some change in the scenery.
Yeah.
Because it's all the same stuff.
Mm-hmm.
It's the same 5 headshots.
Yeah.
In all the same colors.
Mm-hmm.
So, new things. Anytime now.
Well, at least now we have the color of the containment cage to change the colors of things for probably the first part of the next issue.
Oh, good. Now it'll be all in green tint instead of blue.
Yes. Progress.
Okay. The story's broken down between 2 places. That I think that helped the focus some. There's not like huge story movement in either one. We're at the halfway point, so we're basically getting to where the Dead Universe becomes important, I think.
Yeah.
And Bumblebee and Soundwave's teams actually do something.
Yes.
It turns out terribly, but they do something.
Mm-hmm.
But any advancement's good advancement.
Yes,
or something
it really
like that.
is.
So, I mean, overall, I'm pretty happy with this. Again, I like the Robert Gill art quite a bit. I want to see him continue on some of these books when possible.
From what I heard, I believe he is. I think I saw somebody from IDW, I forget whether it was James Roberts or John Barber, talking about some pages he turned in for a future issue of Dark Cybertron. So,
Well, good. Hopefully, when the 2 books get back to regular runs, he can get some fill-in spots too.
yeah.
Want to move on to Regeneration 1?
Before we do, I just wanted to mention on the Toy Watch line of things. This
yes.
seems to be Rat Trap's book, and he is not in it at all, is he?
No. No. And meanwhile, Skywarp possibly dies this issue.
Yeah.
This would have been a good one for Nightbeat, though.
Yeah. Are we getting a Nightbeat?
There is a Nightbeat toy coming up. It should be in the same assortment as Rat Trap.
Okay, well, yeah, this would have been a good night. I don't know. I just don't know.
But also in the next month, we can expect to see a book with a Tankor cover and a book with a Crosscut cover.
Oh, yeah.
At this point, I'm wondering if Tankor will figure into his issue at all either.
Who knows? I guess he'll be in there somewhere, but...
Okay, so Regeneration 1.
Not a lot to say about this. G-Axis is pretty much what was expected. He seems to be pretty much doing the Liege Maximo part in this one. And the Dinobots got to do the Worf thing.
And we got a cool shot of a space bridge almost finished being built.
Yes.
That I actually really like that panel. There's something about the coloring and the line work that just kind of clicks.
Yeah.
In a way that a lot of this book has not art-wise for me.
Yeah.
It's sort of pretty in a weird way.
I think this was one of the better issues. I think maybe Guido feels a little bit less restricted by trying to stay in the Wildman style now, because it's still, all meshes pretty well with what has gone before, but it just overall, I thought the art was better.
There's definitely a certain feel to the art in this issue, which I kind of like the way it's coming together.
Yeah.
Of course, we now have like 2 issues left before Wildman finishes the series off.
Oh, that's right. He does do 100, doesn't he?
Uh-huh. Still 2 more issues.
Yeah.
So Fortress Maximus doesn't seem to be having a good time.
No. He seems to have gotten the Superior Spider-Man treatment here. That doesn't mean anything to you, does it?
No, it does a little bit. I'm just trying to think of what that might have been getting into his head.
Well, I'm pretty certain it's the Dark Matrix thing.
Yeah, probably. That's the one untouched piece of the premonition so far, isn't it?
Yeah, and I'm pretty sure that was the Dark Matrix entity, and that, of course, is going to meet up with Buster soon, or Spike, rather.
Yeah, one of them.
Like it matters.
Well, Buster's dead.
Oh, yeah, and Spike's a jerk, so...
That's the easy way to tell them apart.
Yes, Buster's dead, and Spike's a jerk who doesn't like to put on hats.
Yeah. So... The Hub Network.
Yes.
Otherwise known as, let's bring this story element back again.
Mm-hmm. And I love, years ago it was always the Hub. Now that Hasbro has specifically rebranded their TV network as the Hub Network...
If you read alignment, it was basically the Hub Network through that, too.
Okay.
If not in name, in obvious purpose.
Yeah.
Because the whole point of that hub was for Liege Maximo to be able to ascend to basically Unicron and Primus level.
Yeah.
But that didn't really work out so well because the Dinobots broke it.
Yeah. So the first thing that Jaxxus's guard did this time was break the Dinobots.
Or at least a couple of them.
Yeah. Well, from the sound of things, I think they're all supposed to be incapacitated for the moment.
Yeah, with just, a couple more issues to go for this,
Mm-hmm.
it's hard to see how this is going to resolve and have room for the Fortress Maximus thing.
I'm pretty sure that it's all going to converge. Starscream, Galvatron, G-Axis, Spike, and Fortress Maximus all in the same place in a big mess.
In the double-sized issue 100.
Yeah. About 100 years ago, the humorist Robert Benchley described an opera as ending in a comic mess with everybody dying. And I'm pretty sure that's where we're going.
But at least in the meantime, we got a really cool double panel of G-Axis and Rodimus face close-ups.
Yes.
Which, again, there's just something about the art this issue that kind of, it works the right way.
I really like that last shot of Starscream, too.
Yeah, that's very highly detailed. It is sort of reminiscent of what Underbase Starscream probably would have looked like if it was drawn today instead of the late 1980s.
Yeah. I'm kind of thinking that that's going to come into this too, that Starscream still has something from the Underbase that is not happy with G-Axis.
Could be.
Which, of course, will just complicate things further.
Well, just another thing to throw into issue 100.
Yeah. I'm starting to think double-sized may not be enough, but but the way pacing has gone for this so far, that's not a big surprise.
No.
You boys a bit bored? Snap into it! Snap into a Slim Jim!
Hey guys, it's Rob, and this week's question comes from Facebook, a user Chris Kringle. I think I've heard of him. Anyway, Chris goes on to ask, Yo Rob, what's up fresh? It's a little outdated, isn't it? How come people always ask me for really expensive Transformer items for Christmas and not just the stuff you can find at Walmart? Thanks, love the show. P.S. Third party bubble might not. He's got horrible typing. Anyway, well, thanks for your question, Chris. That's kind of odd. People just kind of ask you for expensive stuff for Christmas. I hope you're talking about friends and family. Yeah. I would assume because Christmas comes, once a year, and people ask, when people say, hey, what would you like? They'd like something they can't just get them. So, I don't know. Maybe your relatives kind of take you for granted, Chris Kringle. I mean, my relatives do. I remember one Christmas, I had like all of them over for Christmas, like I have a family Christmas together. And, I had some just show up that I didn't even invite, which was really rude. I mean, my cousin Eddie just pulled up in his RV, and his whole stinking family and big dog that farted and was covered in boogers was there. I mean, I spent a lot of time putting up the lights too, like that big power bill, be honest with you, kind of got me, it was all whole house coated in white Christmas lights, though apparently I got a colored string mixed up in there, so right around the back corner there was a little colored string, and I was kind of didn't realize I used all white lights. I was kind of wanting to use the colored one so they'd all twinkle, and it didn't really. Anyway, and like I just kind of one morning was looking out the window, and there he was with his RV emptying his portable toilet into my gutters, and he was just like, hey, in his bathrobe, told me, hey, shitter's full. Like, yeah, you pour that thing somewhere else in front of my house. It's nasty too, like brown water. And then my neighbor Julie Lewis-Dreyfus and her yuppie husband came out for a jog, and he's like, hey, Merry Christmas, shitter's full. I was so embarrassed. It was ridiculous. this Christmas is going to be a little bit more low-term affair. I think Eddie went to like Hawaii or something. It's pretty low rent and probably should never happened. It's kind of weird. I don't know, Chris. I don't know why. I think people tend to take their relatives, you want to give your front relatives something nice for Christmas, like, hey, here's something nice, I was thinking of you. And I think some people go, well, hey, I would like this Fortius Maximus reissue, instead of saying, hey, I appreciate you thinking of me. I kind of think that, and I think more people should be like, hey, thank you. Like, if you show people what you want, maybe they should give you a range, thinking of, you might have a lot of people to buy for, Chris. And if everyone wanted a Masterpiece Star Saber, it hadn't even came out yet. Or Hercules, that thing's like $1 million. It's kind of crazy. Maybe they should be more considerate. You think of some low price options as well, and they tell you. Those Retro Future guys are cool. Well, Chris, thanks for your question, and your typing's really bad, but I think it said something about asking me if I've been a good boy, and that's just getting kind of creepy, to be honest with you. So I'm going to turn it back over to the gang, and I'm going to take this time to wish everybody a Merry Christmas and Happy Holidays. And you can look at my blog at roborobspringer.tumblr.com and see the Christmas fun I'm having with a Lego Advent calendar. And, Rob at tfradio.net, or just check out tfradio.net to find out our social medias to send us questions. And thanks for your question, Chris. Rhinox farted. Merry Christmas.
Radio Free Cybertron has teamed up with Kokomo Toys and Collectibles in Kokomo, Indiana. If you're in the Kokomo area, visit our store for a huge selection of new and classic toys. Visit online at www.kokomotoys.com for our address and store hours. While you're there, check out our listing of pre-order items, as well as visit our eBay store. Visit us at www.kokomotoys.com. That's KOKOMOTOYS.com. We're also on Facebook.
Hey, this is Brian. It's currently December 20th, 2013. It's just a few days before Christmas, and the show is going up on Saturday. It's, like I said before, it's our Christmas show. And I hope everyone has or had a Merry Christmas, depending on when you catch this. I want everyone to remember what Christmas is about: family, the winter solstice, and toys. I just picked up, thanks to my wife Kim, I have Masterpiece Smokescreen. I'm pretty excited about that. I haven't had a chance to transform him yet, but it's very it's very cool looking. I have Blue Streak, of course, and Prowl. I love them both. As you heard earlier in the show, there was a discussion about the crotches being different, and I am certain that I will find the crotch being different for Smokescreen, Darn You Diecast, and Don. But, so, for me, toys and Christmas and Transformers all sort of roll together because, of course, being the age that I am, Transformers was a very big part of my childhood and my Christmas. And I know it was and is for you as well. So I asked a few friends and people on Facebook and Twitter if they could, share some of their Christmas wishes or some of their Christmas memories. And I have a couple of these here, and I just wanted to share them. I wanted to read them aloud. I have them right here on paper. I printed this out. So our friend David Schultz said, I got Power Master Optimus Prime for Christmas one year. Little as I was, I didn't understand that he was a new toy. To me, he was the only Optimus Prime. Well, I remembered that Power Master Prime when that came out. I knew it was a different toy, but I don't remember understanding the context as to why he was different. But that's a pretty good Christmas present, especially being younger. I think Blue Streak's David's a few years younger than I am. Sean Lloyd said, as a kid, I really wanted Beast Wars Rampage. He's younger than I am. I had most of the Beast Wars figures, but was never able to find him. I got him for Christmas in 2000. I don't know where my mother found him, but I was glad she did. He came out like in 98, 99, I think. He's a great toy. I still have him on my shelf today. Todd Michael, or Nala from Plastic Crack, said, I would like Santa to come to my house and pay me at least their fair market value and to take all these damn toys out of my hair. I really, really, really want these toys gone. That's my 2014 goal, to get rid of 3,200 damn toy robots. Well, Todd Michael, I hope Santa Claus helps out with that. I really do. Frank V said, I never got Fort Max when I was a kid. Years after it came out, I got an incomplete one at a flea market. It was yellowed and had a broken leg. We've all been there. Now that it's been reissued, I hope to get it this year. I've been hinting around to my wife that I want it. I have a feeling that I'll find it under the tree on Wednesday. Good luck, Frank. And this one's a little different. Our very own Don said he actually sent a list of his wish list. Looks like for the last 30 years. I'm not going to read them all. I don't think I can. Don said, I'm a little embarrassed to share this, but I've provided all of my wish lists for the last 29 years. Let's start this. 1984, Dear Santa, I want Transformers for Christmas. They are really neat. They are. 1985, Dear Santa, I want Dinobots for Christmas. They are the dinosaur allies of his heroic Autobots. Yeah. 1986, Dear Santa, more than anything else, I want an RC figure for Christmas. I know that this toy is not currently for sale, but if you could get me one early, I would appreciate it. Okay. Dear Santa, after you disappointed me last year, I want you to make it up to me this year with a Headmaster RC. She is the friend and protector of Daniel. Sometimes watching Transformers, I like to pretend that I am Daniel and that RC is my best friend. 1988. Again, I did not find the thing I wanted most for Christmas. Get me a Headmaster RC. 89. Dear Santa, when are we getting a Headmaster RC? Dear Santa, 1990. Headmaster RC. 1991. Dear Hasbro, Headmaster RC. Skipping ahead. 1994. Brave. At least it's different. 95. Headmaster RC and Brave. Okay. Let me skip ahead a little more. It kind of keeps on going. 96. Hasbro, when are we getting RC? 2005, Headmaster RC. 2006, Don Ferguson. Dear Santa, kiss players, please. And he drew a winky face. 2007, Dear Santa, kiss players again, please. You don't have to take them out of the case. I'll take the whole assortment. No need to get your grubby North Pole fingers on my girls. 2008, kiss players. 2009, Headmaster RC. Don. You know, what I wanted for Christmas most as a kid was an Omega Supreme. I really wanted Omega Supreme. I got one eventually, but in 1985, that was the big wish for me. If you go to our Tumblr blog, which is tfradio.tumblr.com, I just posted yesterday something that I had posted to the old Radio Free Cybertron GeoCity site back in like 1999. It's an account of my Christmas 1985. I still think it holds up pretty well. It's still pretty funny. So go to tfradio.tumblr.com to check that out. And again, I want to wish everyone out there a Merry Christmas, Happy New Year, Happy Holidays, Happy whatever celebration that you select. You choose whatever, celebrate it. That's great. Have a good one.
You can hear our show on Stitcher Smart Radio. Stitcher allows you to listen to your favorite shows directly from your iPhone, Android phone, BlackBerry, or Palm phones. On demand and on the go. Don't have Stitcher? Download it for free today at Stitcher.com or in the app stores. Stitcher Smart Radio, the smarter way to listen to radio.
So we are back. Diecast got Masterpiece Smokescreen. You like it?
Yeah, it's nice, and you know, after Don recommended, I check all my Masterpiece crotches. They are all different.
Oh, really?
Hey,
Even Smokescreen?
Whoa, that wasn't me. That wasn't me.
No crotch is the same.
God. Looks like we all found, or maybe not Melvar, found the Deluxe Wave 1 from 2014. I think I'm the only one who's actually opened Waspinator, and it is piles of amazing. Like, look at this. His, I don't know that I missed it or what, but he has a wing flapping gimmick. Look, he has a switch. His wings flap. I love it. I feel so sad. I'm a 34-year-old man talking about how much he loves an action figure, but I really do love this. It makes me happy. The light piping in the eyes, just phenomenal. It's really great. It's really, really great.
Well, I'm sure everybody that has Waspinator also has Rhinox.
I don't.
How many people are going to pose Waspinator to get a second one they can pull apart and have just a pile of Waspinator parts after Rhinox has got done blasting him?
Yeah, I don't have Rhinox yet. I need to find Rhinox so very badly.
Now, he was back in stock at HTS last time I looked a few days ago.
Do you like it, Diecast?
Yep, he's awesome.
I'm jealous. Oh, God, that looks so amazing.
Now, the only thing about Rhinox is he's a little fiddly getting all the Rhino bits to tab together. You know, just as far as... He's kind of like... You get like all the tabs but one or two, then you got to put those in place, and then two more pop out. So it's kind of a fiddly process with that. But other than that, you know, there's...
Now, is it hard to get him to stand up?
I don't know about yours, Diecast, but mine is just... He likes certain poses, and some poses he does not like.
So,
well, I've seen a lot of people...
Done. Got news. So here, I'm putting this in the chat right now. Look what just got leaked. It's RC. There's a picture of RC.
Way.
Yes. God, oh my God, it's amazing.
Okay.
Look at it right here. People watching the video, you have to check this out. It's what RC from Generations is going to look like. Isn't that amazing?
I will find this person. I will hunt them down.
So for people not watching the video, it's Springer who's been digi-bashed into RC. Now, if XV did that, like in the last 2 minutes, that will be amazing. So this is a play on the Rodimus that we saw last week from, was it Cloud? And,
Yes.
Yeah, this is amazing. XV is really taking this whole live stream to the next level. I appreciate this.
That's great.
I appreciate this so much.
The only thing I'm worried about is Hasbro seeing this and be like, oh yeah, that's what we should do.
For Takara, that's so awesome.
And the thing of it is, they could not change the head just like he didn't do here, and it'll be like Binotech RC all over again. You've got a male head that kind of passes on a female character.
Yeah, that is just
Thanks,
great.
XV.
That is just so great. I love that. Thank you, XV. So
we'll get that, and then in 20 more years, I'll have to. Oh God, I've got to start all over again. I can't do another 20 bot cons.
So, also, while we're talking about stuff we got this week, because we're not doing a live show for the next couple weeks, I did get my super cheap Amazon Preda King. OMG. The price is great. I mean, I didn't have the reissue. He's a little floppy, but you know, it is what it is. It beats paying $300 for the reissue in like 2005.
Oh yeah, definitely.
I actually have never owned a new Predaking, so I am very pleased owning this. And XV says that he photoshopped that RC before Cloud Rodimus was a thing. So that was pretty great. Thank you, XV.
Yeah, XV. Thank you. Appreciate it.
Let's see here. So there's a news item this week. Sort of a news item. So someone at the Motley Fool suggested that because Transformers are kind of lagging in sales, that Hasbro should revitalize things by doing a couple things like a live-action TV series. How likely that is, I don't know. But also, the other recommendation was bringing back G1. What? So, not like... Actually, no, both. Like reissues, like airing the TV show. Hint, they do. It's on the hub, but nobody has it. And doing reissues, which they do occasionally. What was the last reissue that we actually got here in the U.S.? Was it like the Insecticons?
Insecticons, I think, yeah.
That was like 5 years ago.
Yep.
So, I would say that maybe bringing over the Masterpiece figures, which I've said before probably isn't very likely, that at least all of the smaller ones will come over. But, you know, those don't hit mass retail. But one of the suggestions was, why not try to do a series between Season 2 and Season 3? My problem with doing this has always been, is what is G1? Is G1 cars and trucks? Is G1 specifically the cartoon continuity? Is G1, you know, also, does that also count the comics? So back in the day, bringing back G1 to a lot of people either literally meant revisiting that universe or going back to cars and trucks. Well, we've had cars and trucks again for the last 12, 13 years. Yeah, we've had... So people still... You know, nobody really says bring back cars and trucks anymore because we've had cars and trucks. We had cars and trucks much longer than we didn't. There's a stretch of... From, 95 to 2000 when we just basically had Beasts. Then we had Beast Machines, which was a cross between the two. Then we went back to realistic vehicles. So, vehicles, that's not the same thing as G1. The recommendation was to go back to Season 2 and play that out. I want to say this is a terrible idea. I want to say that. In reality, maybe not. I mean...
Well, if they're talking about from Season 2 at the end of Bot, or to me, Megatron's Master Plan is a better place to leave off with Season 2, even though it's out of order, I know. And do that before and lead into the movie, that would be really interesting to see how the rest of that 20 years played out.
Transformers for Your Listening Pleasure's very own and saying Yavatron is saying he would love to see a series based on More Than Meets the Eye.
Yes.
I think that would work.
I say start a new series with G1 characters. But
is that enough? I mean, having G1 characters, G1 toys, what is it about G1? I mean,
it started everything. I mean,
yeah, but there are more people who collect Transformers and who have played with Transformers and who've bought Transformers over the years who didn't start with G1 at this point. Is it because it's so simple? I mean, really, when you condense Transformers down to its most basic form, G1's about as close to condensed as you can. Now, admittedly, most of the things that have come out since G1 have been, homages to G1 or have been heavily based on G1. But it's still a really simple concept. It's robots in disguise on planet Earth. One side's protecting humans. The other side wants to basically take over the world, the universe even. Do we just need to simplify things? I mean, Transformers Prime does that, but it's still not G1. And Transformers Prime, while the series is good, it hasn't seen a lot of commercial viability, but a lot of that's because it's on the hub. So what's the fix? Is it G1? Is it getting rid of the hub? What do you guys think?
I would love to see them go back to G1, but I don't think it would have the effect that they're thinking it would. I think they're looking back to a time when Transformers was at the peak of its popularity, and they think that just going back to that is gonna boost sales.
I would say if they were smart and if they want to push the hub, have a new series or, whatever, whether it's going to be G1 or a continuation of Prime, have it air on the hub like a week or two ahead of time, and then have it air on another channel, say Cartoon Network or something like that, or Fox, or so everyone will have exposure to it. And if people really like the series, they're going to say, I want the hub because I want to see it 2 weeks early. And that'll drive people to request the hub, and it'll become more popular with the cable providers because of that.
Well, I think there's a lot of good core ideas there. Well, bringing back G1, something a little simplified, maybe not just for the kids, but for an overall new story. And the fact that you could have it open with, say, like the trans text saying this is, the multi-universe out there. There's a lot of different stories, and this is, one of them. And it'd be a G1 story with modern animation, modern sensibilities, modern plotting and storytelling, retelling that classic story in a new format.
So I think XV not being on the show and having to read XV's tweets kind of loses the fidelity of them. But I really like his idea, and it will never happen, but I like it. He says, instead of a regular TV series, he'd like to see More Than Meets the Eye story arcs taken and adapted to direct-to-video movies, like the DC animated movies. That's like pie in the sky, crazy, awesome, would love to see, never happen kind of thinking. But I agree. I would like to see that.
They need to start with Last Stand of the Wreckers, though.
Yeah. Oh, God, yeah. Or just maybe Last Stand of the Wreckers, like adapted to that. And then maybe that could lead into a More Than Meets the Eye series.
I mean, I was just trying to say, I don't think Hub is necessarily the problem. I think the marketing of Hub is more of a problem than the hub itself.
Yeah, and a lot of what you were talking about, Diecast, a lot of networks, like one channel owns USA and Sci-Fi, and it may be an original programming for Sci-Fi, then it'll show up on USA, like you said, a week or two later. But the problem when you bring Cartoon Network into the mix, I know you use that just as an example,
right?
But their demographics are, and what they want to show is shifting so rapidly. You've got shows of a similar vein: Young Justice, Green Lantern, Thundercats. They were all heavy male action toy lines, and they blame lack of sales. But that's not true, because Green Lantern had no toys on the shelf to sell. So I think your plan has a lot of merit, but they need to be real careful on the affiliate they choose outside of the hub. Because if Cartoon Network doesn't like it, and they say that there's no toy sales to drive it, they may drop it, and your whole idea is just shot. That's my only concern.
I don't really know. I don't know what we can do to fix Transformers. I do think Transformers, and from a Hasbro perspective, is kind of broken right now. It's really, I think, cyclical. So the Transformers have been a cyclical line for the last decade. We've had a new series, new toys come out. We've had a new series, new toys come out. We've had a new series, new toys come out. But with the movies coming out and the designs of the characters not really changing, it's been New series, really similar looking toys from last year. And, it's 2013. Dark of the Moon came out in 2012. The first movie came out in 2007. Bumblebee pretty much looks the same. Optimus pretty much looks the same. So you might, in the court, how many Optimus Primes have we had, movie-wise? 30? 40?
I would, yeah.
And they're basically all the same design in different sizes with some different gimmicks. They need something fresh and original. And it's not going to be an overnight fix. I don't think you're just going to have a new series that's going to sell. I think they need to build that consistency back. I don't know that... Transformers sold really well with the first movie, and it just declined after. And it's not because the movies haven't done well. The movies have done great. I just think that when you're competing against an almost identical figure at Goodwill for 50 cents, compared to a brand new figure for $15, and there's no comparing the two.
If with what XV said, Brian, about the whole pie in the sky thing, if they want to really have something like Generation 1 to revitalize everything, but something different, what if they did like a Shattered Glass Generation 1? Completely flip everything around. So what we think we're going to be seeing is it's our story, but it's completely different with the roles reversed. That might be an option as well. Just completely turn everything that we know backwards.
Yeah,
I don't think Hasbro is going to want to push Optimus Prime and Bumblebee as bad guys, though.
Yeah. Yeah,
it'd be interesting to see.
But that's why I was thinking. If you had like Rhinox as Trans Tech saying this is just one of the many stories of the Transformers, so they know it's its own continuity. So it's not so that way it would tell the kids, well, this is not the Prime and Bumblebee. This is somebody different, but they're just as interesting.
I don't know that kids would get that.
Yeah.
Not that kids aren't smart, but you just have to build consistency. You have to have a cohesive universe, and when you have all these disparate continuities, I think it would do great with a 30-year-old set. But I don't think that it would sell kids. And as much money as we spend on Transformers collectively as collectors, we're still overall, we may be a drop in the bucket, but we're not a huge drop in the bucket. That's an ongoing debate. Is how much do Transformers fans, collectors, actually contribute to the bottom line? Most people say not much. Some people say it's more than we think, but it's certainly not. It's certainly not 85-90%. And no matter how cool something is to us, unless kids aren't buying it or parents aren't buying it for the kids, it's going to be a failure. So I don't know. I think we do really need to get back to something consistent and simple. Transformers Prime was simple. And Transformers Prime, I think, did pretty well. Prime, I don't know. My problem with Prime is the fact that it's CG, and the palette, the number of characters that they can draw from in the series is so limited that you have to have really compelling characters from the get-go to have a show survive with so few of them. And I don't think that they did that, not to begin with. And by the time they really got the show going, I think it was probably a little too late.
Well, let me ask you this. Oh, I'm sorry.
Go ahead. No, go ahead.
Prime and Beast Wars did very similar things as far as a small, intimate cast of characters.
But Beast Wars was 100,000 times better from the get-go.
Right. And so I'm saying...
Maybe not from the get-go, because it did suck from the get-go, but... Go ahead, sorry. But Beast Wars is better.
I thought Prime was great. I
enjoyed Prime as much as everybody else, and y'all know how much I enjoyed Prime. But I'm just saying, if they did... Not just if they do the new Beast Wars series. Do you think going back to Beasts, with it having been so long, is an option, Brian? Or are you just trying to say recapture the spirit of Beast Wars with that close-knit group in a more Prime aesthetic?
What else sells for kids? What do kids buy now? What are the other big lines?
Hot Wheels, obviously.
Do kids buy Hot Wheels? On the shelf, what sells? Wrestling figures?
Yeah.
Do they?
Power Rangers, Ninja Turtles.
Ninja Turtles and Power Rangers, pretty much.
Ninja Turtles. So we need to do something. We need to do something like that.
Well, I mean, Ninja Turtles is kind of always stuck to their G1. I mean, you still got a show about 4 turtles and, you know, their master Splinter, and I mean...
Don't forget Venus de Milo. Next Mutation, can't forget that.
I mean, they rehash the same thing, the same story stays the same, so...
But they managed to do something different with it. And the Ninja Turtles, they are characters you can get behind. They're not really boring. Even Leonardo's not that boring. I don't know. They're compelling. They are some things sell on one character. Ben 10, I'm certain, sells probably on a couple of the characters. But Transformers, I don't know. It either needs a lot of characters that one you can gravitate to, or really strong characters. Animated had some really strong characters who had real character. Prime Bulkhead was kind of a shadow of the animated Bulkhead. Bumblebee was boring. Prime was boring. RC was okay. I think Prime was a little too grown up for kids.
That's why they're going away from that. That's the only reason Prime was not a bad show.
No,
they sat down
not.
and they said, we don't really think this is geared towards the kids that we want to gear it towards. It was geared towards more, teenage to adult. So that's the only reason I think they're changing it at all. Not because Prime wasn't successful. It was because it wasn't going towards the market that they want.
No, I think they were going to change it either way, because it seems like every 3 years we get a completely new Transformers series anyway.
Yeah, but it's always going to be, as long as we have the movies, as long as they back behind the movies are going to get front and center attention. I mean, the movies pretty much killed animated. The movies didn't kill Prime, but that's because Prime was just starting with the last movie. And Paladin corrected me that it was 2011. Again, I'm old. But I don't know. I really don't want to see them revisit the Prime universe. I want them to do something different. I want them to do something different than G1. I want them to do something fun and original. And I think they have to do something fun and original. They have to have characters that kids can get behind. Kids that... And Optrod in the chat said adult collectors buy toys, kids don't. I completely disagree with that. Kids may not buy the toys themselves, but they do beg for them.
Right.
And they do ask for them, and they whine and complain until they get them. So they may not have deep pockets, but they have connections.
But kids will also not... They'll also go into the store and say, oh, there's that Bumblebee that I already have.
Yeah, exactly.
But if there's new stuff on the shelf that looks interesting to them, like that Scoop figure that we were talking about, kids will pick that up and be like,
could see kids
wow,
buying Scoop.
I want this.
What I like as a fan and collector, I like going into the store and competing against kids for the purchase of a toy. Not saying chasing them down. I like seeing kids want to buy the same toys that I do. I want to go to the store. I want to see kids reaching for the same thing that I want. I'm going to let the kid get it 5 times out of 10.
So 1 out of every 2.
1 out of every 2. But I totally see kids buying Scoop. I saw kids buying, believe it or not, I saw kids buy Power Core Combiners. Obviously, not enough kids bought Power Core Combiners, but that's because that was a half-hearted effort. That could have been something, but it wasn't. I don't know. I totally agree. I can totally see Scoop selling.
If the new series is a combination of what Prime was with the more lighthearted focus of, say, Rescue Bots, some kind of blending of the two, I can see that be the direction that they're wanting to go. But I know a lot of people our age or collector's age who never even watched Rescue Bots because it was supposedly too kiddie. But it was a pretty good little show. So I can see where they're going for the simplification process. As long as,
but it was too kiddie.
yeah.
So
I never watched animated because
animated was amazing. The problem right now is you had Prime on one extreme, to not adult in the fact that it was mature, but adult in the fact that it was more, I don't even say plot driven, that it is boring. And then you had, then you had, was it Rescue Bots? Yeah, on the other end, and it was too kiddie, and they were hoping that it would average out. Two extremes don't average out. It just doesn't happen. You have to have one consistent thing. And animated, I think, was the perfect mix. Kids loved animated. Adults loved animated. It was a great series. They're not going to be able to recapture that. They have to do something different, but it has to be more like animated, less like Prime. And John DeLuna just tweeted at us that Ninja Turtles is the top three in all major retailers, and the top property for boys at Toys R Us. So, not copy Ninja Turtles, because you can't, but look at what Ninja Turtles does right and copy that.
Yeah.
I think we've probably beat this. We've probably beat this into the ground, but I think this was a really interesting news item, and I thought it would spark a pretty good debate, and I think we had that. Let's go ahead and wrap things up. Melvar, you're not on any social network at all.
No, I am not.
I appreciate that. Don, you're on Twitter at
HMRC for EVR.
Diecast.
I'm at Diecast2.
So, being that this is our Christmas episode, this was our Christmas gift to you. You could totally reciprocate by giving us a review on iTunes. I would love you forever. Or if you listen on Stitcher, and we do have a lot of people on Stitcher, leave us a review there. We would appreciate it. It helps people find the show, and that's really why we do this, for recognition and fame. First fame, then money, and the women.
Wait, there's women?
Yeah.
No, they saw me and ran off. Sorry.
Yes. So, so basically, we would really appreciate that. Our web host was down this past week due to a DDoS attack. If you want to catch the show and you can't find us for whatever reason, we're always on YouTube. We actually also have a Tumblr blog, which I've started updating again, which is at tfradio.tumblr.com. Follow us. You'll always be up to date by going there. And join us on Facebook at facebook.com/tfradio, and of course on Twitter at tfradio. We've had a lot of great back and forth with XV and other people tonight on Twitter during the live stream. It's been a blast. It's really actually made this. I hope we keep this up. I've enjoyed it. Thanks to XV for all of the support there. For the guys, I'm your host, Brian Kilby. I want to wish everyone a Merry Christmas, Happy Holidays, and Happy New Year. We'll see everyone live back on January 8th. But, of course, again, we will have new shows the next 2 weeks, but they will not be live. So join us next week with RFC episode 343. But join us back live at tfradio.net/live in 2014. OMG. OMG. Well, for the guys, Brian Kilby, catch you later. Thanks for being here.
Take care, everybody.
This has been Radio Free Cybertron. Visit us at tfradio.net for show notes and to subscribe to the podcast. Follow us on Twitter at tfradio for news and updates. Watch our live stream at tfradio.net/live. Join our Facebook fan page at facebook.com/tfradio. Subscribe to our YouTube channel, TF Radio Network. Have a question or comment? Leave it on our Facebook fan page or mail it to contact@tfradio.net. This podcast is released under a Creative Commons license. Any part of this podcast can and should be redistributed, but please, proper attribution is required if you know what's good for you.